Jason?
Yeah, we're good.
Good evening, welcome to the special town meeting. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. We need to act on 3 motions. The first one is to choose a moderator. Do I have a nomination?
Joyce Foley.
We have a nomination for Joyce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Myself, Tim Bickford. Everyone will be heard.
Do we have a second for Tim Bickford?
Second.
Okay. So now we have to vote nominations for Joyce. All in favor? 2, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Nominations for Tim. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tim, I guess you're it.
Does he understand how to do this?
Well, he's gonna do it, come on.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're excited.
I get a hammer? Yeah, you're excited now, come on, sit down.
Oh, wait a minute, he's gotta be sworn in first.
Okay. How do I do that?
Okay, here, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Timothy Bickford, do swear
I, Timothy Bickford, do swear
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so long as I shall
so long as I shall
continue a citizen thereof.
continue a citizen thereof.
I, Tim Bickford, do swear
I, Tim Bickford, do swear
that I will faithfully discharge,
that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my
to
abilities,
the best of my abilities,
the duties incumbent on me
the duties incumbent on me
as moderator of this meeting,
as moderator of this meeting,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of this state.
Wow. Sign there. Yeah, oh.
Get things rolling.
Do you know
No, I don't.
Robert's rules?
Is there a manual?
There's a manual. Do you want me to go get it?
Yeah. This will be fast.
Yeah.
We hope.
Have you been to one?
No. I'm committed now.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's my weekend to call with me. Is there a meeting first or is this?
No, we're going right in the town meeting first.
How's those Patriots?
Joyce, you want to coach me?
No?
That's why we're getting the book out.
We'll start by reading
Yep.
Article 2.
Start with a pledge of allegiance.
For the town meeting, probably.
What?
We do pledge allegiance for the town meeting?
Yep.
I guess we all rise for the pledge of allegiance before we start this.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's kind of back.
I'll make this as quick as possible, but everyone will get a chance to be heard. As quick as possible and I'm fine getting coached if necessary.
Yep.
So, says an article, see if the town will vote to approve up to $180,000 to come out of capital improvement reserve account to purchase a new loader. And I assume we now get a chance to talk about that?
No, we have to put it on the floor. We have to make a motion. Do we have a motion? I move. Joyce.
This motion.
Joyce motion? Do we have a second? Jake? Motion passes.
No, all in
Doesn't it?
favor?
All in favor?
What's that? Oh, say it, delegate.
Now discussion.
Oh, now discussions.
Listen to me.
And that's just town. You guys don't have an easy job.
Oh, come on. You can take a seat, bud.
Yeah, you can sit down.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Want me to get up and speak?
This is gonna be
Yes,
all.
please do.
Does the,
Usually,
town want to discuss about why we're doing this first?
usually somebody explains.
Yeah.
Let's bring the
Yeah,
director up.
Yeah.
If you could explain the need of this and why we're brought here for this vote.
Yeah, so I have a couple pages of stuff I'll probably just read because it's easier. But just to preface it, I was out of town and the crew went out to do some work and it locked up on them on the side of the road. And that's what stemmed all of this. We have a part-time mechanic, Dick Roy, who's here, who worked on it, couldn't come up with what the solution was. And so we called United Construction and Forestry. They're the dealership for the loader that we have. They came out, couldn't troubleshoot it without requiring it to go back to their shop at $206 an hour to diagnose it. And it could be anywhere from something simple all the way up to $52,000 for a new transmission. And outside of that, it needs new pins for the bucket, which is quoted at $4,333. So combined, we're at 56, almost $57,000, worst case scenario. So just a little background on how we got the loader. In 2011, there was nobody here that I guess remembers actually getting the loader or how the process went. So asked Patty for any paperwork that we had on that. She sent me what she had, and so I've just made notes about that. The 2011 warrant at the annual town meeting asked in Article 5 to see if the town will vote to continue the lease by contract for the John Deere loader to a term of 48 months of $2,096.90 per month, or $25,163 per year. Total purchase price being $100,651.20, with monies to come from the general highway and snow and ice operating budgets. So I've deduced on my own, the word continue indicates that there was already a rental agreement of some sort. And this is also supported by a document from 2010. In that document, it explains the purchase price of the loader as $114,000, and it offers a 5-year lease with a 1-year walk-away clause at 3.95%, with monthly payments of $2,095 per month and an annual payment of $25,152. So the amounts differ from the 2011 warrant article by $1.90 per month or $11 per year. And being a 5-year lease with a 1-year walk-away clause would imply that the town had already entered into an agreement back in 2010, which is the year of the loader, with the walk-away clause coming to an end in 2011. This would explain the 2011 Article 5 asking to continue with a 48-month term. This would explain why the purchase of the loader in 2010 document was $114,000, yet the article lists the purchase price at $100,651. And the document lists 60-month total as $125,700. So that's just to try to show when we bought it and how old it is. So in the 2010 document, it appears to be a quote from a salesman, and it projects the life expectancy of the loader at 15 to 20 years. The loader is a 2010, and Limington's had it for 16 years, which is just inside the 15 to 20 life expectancy. In 2010, it also explains that 2007, 2008, and 2009 through February expenditures combined as $67,097. So it indicates that the town must have voted in March to buy, March of 2011 to buy the loader. One of the questions I saw online was how much would it cost to rent or lease? And back then on this document, it was $28,000 per year to do a lease agreement back then. The town's current loader has 8,400 hours on it now, an average of 525 hours. The document that I saw calculated an average hours back then at 378 per year for 2007, 2008, and 2009. And it projects 500 hours annually for the purchase. So it makes the actual annual average 25 hours more than was projected. The loader has spent most its life, or all of its life, outside. Back when it was purchased, there was no building to store the loader in. And when people debated the need for the Public Works building, it was stated several times by the board at the time that no vehicles would be stored inside the building, which makes no sense to me, but that's what was said. When talking about the replacement, the foreman and I made clear that if purchased, the new machine should be stored in the building. Though it's built to be outside, we feel keeping it out of the weather will prolong the life of the loader. Town's current loader has spent a lot of time idling during snowstorms. And with the new loader, there will be no prolonged idling. With the new emissions, it's not good for them to idle. Plus, it will reduce the annual average hours to prolong the life of the machine. Maintenance history of the current loader is hard to tell, really. During the first few years, there was no building or regular employees to do maintenance. At some time around 2014, I believe it was when Sean Jordan came in as the road commissioner. And in short time, he was basically full-time, even though that wasn't official at that point. But with still no building and only tools of his own, some maintenance was probably done, but there's no really telling what got done. Eventually the shop was built and tools started to get purchased. And when the town officially created a full-time department of Public Works and officially hired Sean as the full-time director, he began to hire more staff. At that point, maintenance got better. The department, I forget what year it was, had stripped, sandblasted, and repainted the whole machine. And though maintenance was done to the machine over its life, it's recently become clear that some important preventative maintenance was never done, which is exactly why, as the director, I restructured the department and we have a dedicated mechanic to work on the equipment. Dick has an extensive background in equipment maintenance. The loader is used year-round, but mostly during the winter months. It's currently used to load material in the trucks during winter storms. It's also used to stockpile salt deliveries in the storage building, and in the fall it stockpiles sand deliveries. We also have a snow pusher that attaches to the bucket and is used to clear the large parking areas. We use it oftentimes out at the transfer station. And it's used to set snowbanks back once they pile up through the winter. It's used frequently less frequently in the summer, but it does get used to load aggregate into the trucks with materials needed for work sites throughout the town. We have a sweeper attachment that used to get used frequently. It's used less now because we've become salt priority, so there's less material left in the road after the winter's done. The reason we approached the town manager and the Board of Select people only a month after the annual town meeting about replacing the loader is because we didn't anticipate replacing the loader until it had the breakdown at the end of March. While I was out of town for a multi-day conference, the crew was using the loader and it locked up on them. It stopped moving and wouldn't move, even after shutdown and restart. The mechanic looked at it, couldn't come up with a solution, so we called the United Construction and Forestry. They came out and warned the repairs could be very expensive. We've since received an estimate for the repairs needed of $52,597 and the pins and sleeve at $43.33. Regarding the size of the loader, I saw on social media people wondering if it had to be that big. I had reached out to the previous road commissioner from back when this one was purchased, and he said there was a lot of debate over it back then, and it was settled that this was a machine that was needed to be able to load the material in the trucks. Regarding buying a used, I saw that there was a clear message in March that people don't want to invest in used equipment. There are too many unknowns, like are we buying someone else's junk? What is the life expectancy of the used item? Are we getting a good price for the age and condition of the item? People wondered if we had enough money or thought that we didn't. Capital Reserve account had a balance of $1.149487 at the end of 2025. And in March, the people voted to add $800,000 more to that account. They also voted to spend a combined $407,900 for capital items that were in the 5-year plan. Over the last 2 years, we added an extra $410,000 to the reserve account on top of what was anticipated. That was done on the floor because there were surplus funds in the undesignated account. And the capital reserve account has a better interest rate. And so in 2025 alone, we had made $42,555 from interest. In 25, we also added an additional $16,205 from surplus equipment that we put up for bid and people bought. And the capital reserve account is intended for exactly these types of purchases. And on top of funding the capital reserve account better than anticipated, there have also been reductions to the overall anticipated needs due to grants that were awarded in 2025. So the point of all of that is, obviously it's people's choice, but if you're opposed to it, you're opposed to it. But if you're opposed to it because you don't know if we can afford it or not, we can afford it because the town's finally got a 5-year plan and is funding the capital reserve account in a way that we can achieve the items when we have it planned. And the revenues are up. I guess that's credit to Patty, I don't know. But so if people weren't at the town meeting, for 2 years in a row, we've added more as offsets, which directly reduce your municipal tax, and added more to capital reserve. So we're funding the capital reserve better while not adding to the tax burden. So I guess that's what I got to say about that, and then answer.
Can you quickly clarify if all the attachments will fit the new loader you're looking at?
Order. The moderator doesn't participate,
Okay.
remains neutral and doesn't vote.
Okay.
So just for clarification, we've got several quotes. The select board has them. One of the quotes is for a replacement of exactly what we have. And so the attachments would fit that. I can't answer, maybe Dick can, with the other brands, whether the attachments we have would fit or not. So.
Yeah, identical.
That's from the town. Are there any other questions that the town would like to present, or any other comments the town would like to present, or Public Works would like to present?
If you do, just step on up to the podium, please.
Then I guess we open the floor to public comments.
Because we're here for special election.
Where do we
No,
want
up,
to ask
right up here.
So we're here to
You have to state the name.
Yeah, and any comments are strictly governed to Article 2, which, on the warrant for public comments. If you need a copy of that, there's one here, or
To make sure I'm speaking according to Article 2.
It's on the loader.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Bonnie Lord, Laughlin, Cape Road. Emil, I'm just wondering whether I hear that the loader helps us lift sand. I hear that the loader helps us lift salt. And in the summer, it has some jobs that it can do, and something might have to do with an attachment for a sweeper or something or other. But is there any other way, other than $180,000, that we can have that loading of salt and loading of sand maybe done with some other equipment? I bet you've sort of thought of that, but that's what my question is essentially. Is there another way that with a current piece of equipment? I know we have the $180,000, but it's kind of like a lot of things that any of us might have in our in an account, a savings account. There'll be another need for it at some point, and then we wouldn't have that $180,000. So I'm simply asking, is there another way to accomplish what the loader does with maybe equipment that we have or less expensive equipment? And I might not have heard the whole extent of what the loader can do, but that's what I heard the loader does mostly. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I'd have to ask the Public Works to address that, not us.
The bulk of the work that the loader does is winter time. The only other equipment we have right now is the excavator that would take a very long time to load the material if we were to do that. We're getting the smaller tractor with that's gonna have a 5-foot bucket on it, so it's not gonna have the reach to get over the truck, but it certainly can't load the same quantities of material at the same rate. So I guess it comes down to efficiency, and whether you wanna pay somebody more time to load the equipment or load the material, or put that into the equipment itself, so.
Is that good, Bonnie?
I don't really have much else to say. I think whenever the pluses and the minuses of anything, you start talking about more people's time and smaller loads as opposed to the big load this one can do. I trust that Emo's looked at that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
It's a lot of money.
put faith into what they're,
Well, to some extent, but we're allowed to ask questions
Yeah,
too, so
absolutely.
it's always a
We're here.
back and forth. And, thank you.
anyone else want to discuss Article 2? Yep.
Howard Allen, Secaucus Avenue, Limington, obviously. So we're talking about spending money out of the 5-year capital plan, but I don't see a loader in the 5-year capital plan. So the question becomes, okay, so for the vehicles and trucks that are in here, which one are we gonna take the $180,000 away from?
You guys want to?
Due to the fact that the money is currently there, none. They've saved, and I can let Emo talk on this a little more, but we weren't anticipating the loader this year or even next year. We had actually just started talking about it literally a couple of months ago. And we figured it was coming in the next 5, maybe 6 years is what we were hoping. But the fact is, you're also not seeing, we're coming up on the 10,000 hour rebuild of the engine as well with this unit. That's not in this price. That's probably another $15,000 to $20,000 on top of this. So, because every 10,000 hours, the engine's expected to be rebuilt top to bottom. So we still got that's not even in this quote.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the big picture here, just across the board with the replacement, is do we want to put 60, 70,000 into a loader that literally next year, if we trade it in, is only worth 25 or 30,000 at max. We're getting the max trade in right now. They're giving us $30,000 trade on this loader right now as its condition. If we fix this and we trade it in 2 or 3 years down the road, we probably are not going to get 25,000. And it's not, you see what I'm saying? It's a bad investment. As much as we don't want to, trust me, I didn't want to have to ask this, because it was right up until, the end of March, I think it was, it started acting up and it started locking in on us. And it's low pump pressure. And what's happening is when that low pump pressure, it doesn't engage, when it gets below a certain pressure, the brake automatically locks on. And so you can't ruin it. It's kind of a
Fail-safe.
a fail-safe.
Yep.
So you don't end up with even more problems, so.
So I'm not an expert in this kind of equipment. I've only owned vehicles. But if I've got all my cars are really old, so it's okay. But my newest car, 2008, 100,000 miles on it. It will go 200,000 miles if I keep the engine maintained properly. If that transmission were to go out tomorrow, I would at least take it in and spend the money to have it diagnosed before I decide, I'm gonna trade it in.
Yep.
Okay, so that's my kind of question for the select board. Did you discuss maybe having your dealer
It was diagnosed.
diagnosed?
Yes, they came out, they diagnosed it, it's low pump pressure.
Okay, but what caused the low pump pressure? Is it a hydraulic pump?
100% probably a fact, you want to, lack of maintenance.
I gotta explain this.
Yeah, okay. You come up to you gotta come up to this is Dick, our mechanic.
You're killing you.
I don't
they
wanna
come-
watch this, so.
Okay, first of all, we did diagnose it and we had them come in and verify it. So I'm not just gonna make that decision. They gotta know that there's somebody else that looked at it also. The pump is in the transmission. The pump's failed or failing real quick. It also has a torque conveyor bearing going. Usually means it's a catastrophic failure inside the transmission. Repairing it, it's a crapshoot. It's either gonna be good or not. And when you open it up and you find out that it's no good,
Case could be.
you still paid $12,000-15,000 just for them to look at it. It's not cheap. It's not a car. So, and the engine is a 10,000-hour engine. I've rebuilt many John Deere engines. So that's coming up too. The guy heard it just like I did. That engine doesn't sound right. I said, yeah, I know. But we try to nurse things as much as we can, we really do. But the tractor needs, and it's a choice. When you talk about the brake, it's no joke. The springs in it are 15,000 pounds pressure a piece. There's like 20 of them in there. So I know it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but when that doesn't have enough oil, that thing will lock up and put you through the windshield. I rescued a machine at the Jetport with a plane coming in that had the same kind of issue. And we had to tear it apart and get it out before the plane came down. But so that, and if you, like he was saying, if you offset the cost, the pins and bushings on it, they have to be line bored. And those are $2,000 a piece for holes. There's 4 holes that have to be done. And you still got an old loader. And as far as putting money into it, it's all good. You put money into it, you're not gonna get a dime more for it next year or the year after. It doesn't work that way. The equipment doesn't give you more money. It's like buying a car with electric windows. When you go to trade it in, they don't give you any more for it. You paid for it, but the other guy isn't gonna. So just, you know, whether you approve it or not, it's up to you guys. But and as far as how much we need to load, this winter, I've heard nothing but good comments about how good the roads were. I've heard nothing but good comments. Maybe you heard some bad stuff. I didn't hear any. And I'm in the shop, so everybody was real happy how fast it was being done and how good the roads were. Well, that doesn't happen with loading it with a teaspoon. You got to get that. And honestly, that loader is not. It's just bare minimum for loading trucks as fast as they have to. So, crapshoot. You guys decide what you want to do, but just so you know, that is, you're looking at a lot of money to get this thing up and running. So, like Jason said, is it worth putting the money into tearing it all down and guessing until you don't know until you open it up? That's true. You're in my view, it doesn't mean anything. In my view, you're way better ahead spending money right now than you are trying to repair it. But I don't mind. I'll tear it apart and repair it. I'm good with that too.
That's my question, because I didn't know there was that much of a diagnostic that had been done on it, so that's new information.
Yeah, it wasn't just, they didn't just come over and look at it.
Okay.
We did a bunch of diagnostic. I know what I'm looking at because I worked came over and he goes, Dick, you don't need me. Yeah. Verified by somebody. And he did, which is a good idea.
Okay.
Nobody ever has all the answers.
Yep.
Which we did, you know.
Oh, wait, Tim, I'd like to address Howard just for a minute. On your capital improvement plan, you'll see that it said we were going to put 500,000 in this year, and they actually upped that to 800,000, so there's an extra 300,000 right there. That's not on that plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Plus the book only goes 5 years. It's a growing document. So when 1 year drops off, the next year comes on. So.
I know. I just was expecting, trying to see the loader in there, but like he said,
Yeah,
you weren't anticipating the loader to poop out after, this year.
Oh, that was another thing too. We talked about the prior maintenance. That had never ever had a transmission filter change. I had to chisel it off. It's a machine with 8,400 hours. It was rotted, I had to beat it off. That should not happen. You know, they need service, just like your car. So, go ahead.
Any other?
She has a question.
Just please tell us if, I think our current loader costs $15,000 just for a diagnosis, 10 to 15, something like
It
that.
can get that way, yeah.
So please tell us how much this new loader would cost just for checkup or whatever it has to have. Cost of maintenance, you know, it's one thing to buy something and then buy a house, but then you have to pay
You
everything.
can actually get a number for the maintenance costs and the actual oil and filters that you're supposed to use in a timely fashion, but
Have we done that?
no, but that's a minimal number. That's a minimal number. You're talking about filters we get right uptown here. And it's my labor, you know, and I work here anyways, to drain the oil out, keep track of it.
Probably oil and filter services are probably in the $300 to $400 range.
Yeah,
Yeah, so at $300 to $400 to service it. Every 500 hours, is it?
they go, the first one's 500
Fine,
hours.
yeah.
When you get the 1,000-hour service, now you're changing the bigger filters and
Yeah.
the hydraulic filters, but you're not replacing any oil with that. It's really just filters.
Bonnie?
Well, it's sounding like it's minimal to do upkeep for it, regular, correct upkeep, but it sounds like it's a $15,000 or something like that diagnosis for our current one. So I can't help but be curious about, it sounds like you're sort of, you know, is it like, one thing,
Bob and Peter pay Paul?
well, no, I guess, are we sort of saying that this new one would never need a type of a diagnosis if,
Well,
you know, a
if we
big
take-
$15,000 look-see if we keep it? That's what I guess I'm curious about. Are
Well,
we
if we-
making the case that the other one never had correct maintenance? And if we have correct maintenance, we won't need a big checkup?
Exactly. They've got, Emo and Dick have got a good maintenance program going now where everything is coming in, trucks are being serviced on time as they should be. And furthermore, the loader being new, we've got a 4-year
You got a 4-year.
maintenance, 4-year
$4,000.
warranty on it anyways. So overall, as long as they're maintained correctly,
Jason,
which,
is this the guy that we're gonna buy the loader from?
No.
You're not,
No.
you're just representing.
I'd like to
that,
sell it,
what's
but I
going
ain't
on with
got-
Gotcha.
I'm not selling it.
I would just
I'm
add
just
to
curious, you work for the same company we're gonna buy the new one from?
No.
to Bonnie's question,
I don't even know.
obviously,
Buy it!
there's things we can't predict. You know, there's always a chance something's gonna go wrong, but that's why we do have the warranty. But the idea of doing preventative maintenance reduces the likelihood of that. And so with the new machine, we'll have the manuals, it's gonna tell us by hours when certain things should be done. Dick's familiar with that stuff already. And that's the whole goal, is to get something and do what needs to be done to it right from the start, and keep up with that.
Emil,
that answer.
can you explain what Dick's role is? Because some people may not know that we now have a part-time mechanic.
Yeah, Dick's our part-time mechanic. So when Sean left in April, he was essentially the mechanic and public works director. And we went 4 or 5 months without either. I came in as the acting director, and worked on the restructure, working on policy. And so part of the restructure was to get a mechanic in here. And we hired Dick. We were originally looking for a full-time mechanic, but he didn't want that, and so we thought that was a good opportunity to save some money, because the reason we were looking for a full-time mechanic was because we thought we couldn't find a part-time. So it just worked out well for the budget. It works out well for us as Public Works Department. And so as long as he wants to stick around, he'll be doing the service to all the equipment.
Bonnie, did that answer what you had? That was how you started it off before we.
Thank you for answering that, asking that, Tim. Times I've bought a new car, which have been a long time ago, there was guidance about every 80-umpty-ump-thousand miles, you needed to bring it in for a umpty-ump $100 checkup. And in between, you needed to do all the right things too, about oil change and this, that, and the other. I don't know if this was the manufacturer's way of having us all spend too much to have our 60,000 and then our 120,000. But my question goes to, as talented as Dick is in maintenance, I'm sure, and mechanics, is this new piece of equipment going to need a checkup I don't know whether they go by miles or time or loads or snowstorms or whatever, but what I'm getting at is, are we going to abide by the manufacturer's guidelines about regular checkups? And if so, how much money are they? Or are we going to say, with our in-house expertise, we don't really need to do that? We can, and I'm not trying to say that in a way where we're doing the wrong thing, but maybe the product comes with the guidelines, we're supposed to spend 15,000 or more every so often on it, even though we're doing everything right in between. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, because I know I had to do that when I bought
Yes.
vehicles along the way.
Yeah, the manufacturer is gonna give hours, at the first big service is 500 hours, then 1,000 hours. We're gonna follow the manufacturer's guidelines. We have a mechanic. There's no reason not to. There's no reason to do what they say, no reason not to do what they say. In the past loader, I think we'd get probably a number more years out of it if it was taken care of the way it should have been.
So we'll do everything according to what they say, but will that be done? I'm just curious, is the maintenance required to take it to the dealer?
No.
Like mine was kind of required to take it back to the dealer.
Yeah, no, this is not required. He's been around it 35, 40 years, so. Yep.
So we'll do all that in-house, but okay.
At a fraction of the cost it would be at the dealer.
Yeah, and for warranty purposes, it just has to be documented that it was done, which we do, so.
Okay.
Any other public?
Yep. Patiently waiting.
Everybody.
Hi, I'm Lark Pitts. I live right at the corner of North Road and 25. My question is, getting away from the new loader, the $75,000 that we would spend on transmission and pins and whatever else was said, would that get this loader through 5 years so we could put it on the 5-year plan?
I would say no, there's no guarantee.
No guarantee.
That's the
but
problem,
Is that a possibility? I mean, because
Money spent, if we spend $75,000 and we get 5 years, you're gonna look back and go, great. We spend $75,000 and we make it fall and we break the loader again. That, anything can happen, that's the downfall. If it needs a whole new engine.
anything can happen. You're right. I mean, I'd love to go out and buy a new car right now. I would just love that. And I could maybe swing it. I could probably swing it, but I got other stuff I gotta spend the money on. So it just seems to me that we're jumping into a whole bunch of money. Yeah, we got it, but.
Well, the other factors too is the rust. This just over time, the machine is quite rusty. Dick has been just patching things over the winter for half the winter. We didn't have heat. The blower went out. We had to beat it with a hammer to try to get it to work. But when it's, when you're trying to use it, it's just, I think cost effectiveness, I've been in the automotive trade, you're at the point where I think we're wasting money trying to fix this. Because like he said, at the end of this, we put $75,000 into this. 75 is virtually almost halfway to the new loader. And we get 4 years out of it. And at the end of the 4 years, we're gonna get maybe $20,000 trade. So the cost wise, I don't think it's looking out for your money, it's better well spent. I know nobody wants to do the money, but the end result is the return on it and the upkeep of it by the town and the way they've got the maintenance program and the fact that this loader will be indoors. It's gonna be housed in the building down there.
And how many other pieces of equipment do we have in the same condition?
The only one that's older than this
Looking
is the
at-
grader. And the grader's being fixed right now, but
Is that on our 5-year plan?
no,
So, I'll try to remember all of the points, but the one that sticks out is if we wait 5 years, what will the cost of the loader be then?
Right.
So we spend whatever we spend now. We don't know what it will come to. We reduce what we get for trade-in and whatever inflation does, down the road. So, it would buy us time, but we do know that we have to replace it before too many more years regardless. So that is the question that everybody has to answer is, are we throwing good money after bad or not? And only you guys can decide that. As far as the capital plan, I came in the beginning of August, I think it was. And so in looking at the 5-year plan that was already made, there really wasn't much of one for Public Works. The Finance Committee, if you look back over the meetings in 2025, there was no capital plan for Public Works. And so they threw money in every year because they knew that something would have to be done, but nobody had presented a plan for what would have to be done. So when I came in, I looked at the existing plan. We've been needing plow trucks. And so you look back at this year's town meeting and I explain it, but basically I took 2 years worth of capital plan that the Finance Committee had made for Public Works, moved that into 1 year so that we could buy the new plow truck that's hopefully getting picked up tomorrow. And then we take a year off and then we combine 2 more years again to be able to buy another plow truck. So what I'm trying to get at is there was no plan. I came in mid-year, worked with the plan that we had, and then by town meeting, we'll be looking at the plan again. We'll do an inventory of what we have for equipment and its condition so that we can place it in the plan. But there wasn't a plan.
Right. I'm gonna allow, stuff, any financial discussions like that, because I think it's important not to just, in Article 2, we're talking just about the loader, but for the future, for other things and comments like, is this gonna maintain for other vehicles? So if the town's okay with that, I'm giving a little bit of leeway to stretch Article 2 for comments on the 5-year plan and such. And, next.
I have a question, Brittany Worden's Way. On the old system, the old loader obviously doesn't have a DEF system, so now the new one's going to have a DEF system. Is this mechanic up to knowledge on that and has the accurate tools and equipment to work on DEF systems?
Yes.
You do?
He does. His answer is yes. I'm just, the system only hears up
It's
here.
outside the box.
We're supposed to be up here though to
Yes.
speak, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm always told.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just add to that to keep the hours down, we don't want to idle it, but also because of the emissions, it's not good to let them idle, and because of the DEF.
So,
On Long Beach, Staples Road. Do we have a loader backhoe?
No.
No.
Would it be more useful to have a loader backhoe so that you can do 2 things out of that instead of just one?
So I'll count on people with more experience on that than I have. But this is one of the things that was discussed when we bought the current loader back in 2010. I wasn't here for that to know what the discussions were and why the decision was made. But we have an excavator now that does the ditching and roadside work, culverts, things like that. And so I don't know that going down in bucket size in order to gain another backhoe would give us any more benefit. But I don't know if anybody else can speak on that.
anybody want to speak to?
The buckets are small.
Yeah, I mean, where we have the excavator, I think having another backhoe and going to, I think the smaller loader, it's smaller in general. And I don't even know if the reach would get over the side of the truck, the double axle truck. That's some of the problem now we have is even with the loader, we can just load the smaller trucks. The big truck, we have to go up over the side, so. But the backhoe loader, I don't think I'm not a professional with the Public Works, but for the size and the stuff I've seen that loader move in the last year, the regular one, there's no way a loader backhoe is gonna move. Some of the trees, when you rip the whole plow gear off the front of a truck, I mean, yeah, I've seen it all. That loader's moved some serious weight, which I don't think a regular loader backhoe would work.
Yeah,
But that's me.
I operated one, and I know they can do some stuff.
Yeah, they can do, I'm not saying they can't, but, you know, you don't have a,
That's an, just throwing that
Yep,
out there.
no,
The other
absolutely.
thing is, do we need such a big loader? Can you downsize on a loader, maybe the price would drop down on? And what about insurance? Getting insurance on these,
The town is self-insured.
I mean,
yeah, the insurance is
in
through
this
the town.
instance,
Yep.
where this has happened, maybe insurance company would have covered it. I mean, it's an old vehicle, but
Yeah, I think lack of maintenance probably on that end of it in the past probably wouldn't have been covered, but, you know,
I'm concerned because you got the school thing will be coming up pretty soon. And who knows what they're gonna want, just, I think it's a little bit high for a piece of equipment.
any other,
Jake Smith, Morgan Lane, Jason Smith, Morgan Lane, same person. So I've got three things. If we, for some reason, voted no on this tonight, where does the money come from for the repair?
You have to go back to special town meeting for the town to vote for it,
Because we don't have enough in the repair budget to cover such a big repair expense, correct?
and the cost.
As part of the Financial Advisory Committee, one of our goals is to get everything that's a capital item on the plan. It's not there yet. So this is one of the things that, yes, it wasn't on the plan. But there's a lot of things. This building's not on the plan yet either, but it probably will be. Fire stations, things like that, they're all not on the plan. But we're getting there. It's a work in progress. But the other thing to keep in mind is it's a 5-year plan. It's not a 5-year guarantee. None of that money is allocated to anything officially until that year's town meeting. The only thing that we have is $400 and something thousand that we allocated this year. So all of that money sits into a pool for capital items that we need. In this case, this one's unfortunately something we need right off. And it was pointed out to me just a few minutes ago that speculation is a new loader in 5 years might be $230,000. So prices go up. I mean, that's part of the reason when you have a capital improvement fund like trucks, ambulances, all these things, they're a 10-year cycle. And if you replace it on that 10-year, you have a better chance. You know what that's going to cost. Presumably your mileages is also kind of spec'd into that. And that's why the loaders, I think a lot of towns do loaders on 15-year cycles. We're on 17 years or something with this one, which would have been great to get a couple more years out of it, but it didn't happen. So, I mean, we're in there. And again, by waiting, the cost of that loader gets more expensive versus if you just replace it when it's due, then it's just a better way to keep your equipment updated. So that in the middle of a snowstorm, we can load the trucks. There's been a lot of discussion about, my car. Well, your car, I suppose, if it broke down, you could go rent one. It's a little bit tougher to do with a front end loader that's big enough to load sand trucks in the middle of winter. And one of the things that we found out is that this one just stopped, like the brake locked, and it became 30,000 pound paperweight. I mean, there was nothing you could do with it until it decided it wanted to go again. That's just kind of the fail-safe system, which is great until it works. Anyway.
thanks, Jake. Any other, oh,
I'll just. Brittany Worden's Way, just for clarification, it's actually very easy to rent a loader, and we could actually rent them, lease them for just winter time when we do typically use our machine.
Well, tell us about that. Who says it's easy to rent a loader?
Well, one, I'm sure there's people in the town that own businesses that don't utilize their machines in the winter that may be an option to rent it, or there's like United. Cat rents them. There's multiple places you guys could look into to rent a loader during that time.
And winter's when it's mostly used.
Correct.
I looked into leases, but leases, same deal. You turn it back in and you're spending $25,000, $30,000 for the year to rent, lease, then turn it back over, and then you gotta cover maintenance, so you break it. That's $40,000. I mean,
I can't speak to
at
the
any
loader.
place.
We didn't ask for that.
We looked at the leasing side of it, but the leasing with the interest rate is, you're gonna spend $250,000 on the loader by the time you're done.
But about 5 years ago, I'm guessing, when they bought the excavator, we had rented the excavator for 3 or 4 months at a time, I think, during the summer months. And we were spending back then, I think, over $20,000 per year. So the question came up is, are we getting that $20,000 worth out of it? Or are we throwing $20,000 away every year when we could spend that money and have how many years with the excavator? And I don't know how they made the decision, but the decision was made that buying the equipment, you would actually have something with the money that you spend. So I don't know if there's a way to predict that. You know, how much would it cost per season to rent? And, you know, how many rentals pay for that loader? And how many years, if we bought the loader, could we get out of it versus paying that same amount every year?
That cover you, Brittany? Did that answer what you needed?
I think we have to, do we have to get permission to do rentals?
In a way, but it would be nice to see, like, could we put that into a 5-year plan then, to see where that goes and how that looks?
Analysis, financial analysis.
Town wants to speak to that. Can you repeat that for?
Put in the loader if we were to lease or rent one during that time into a 5-year plan. Seeing that's what we're going, like these 5-year plans,
Yeah,
could we do that?
I know, we looked into the lease side of it, and the lease side of it was,
Those numbers seem pretty high, so maybe was
these
this
are
was
right
all
from
done?
United and,
If we could get a couple different quotes though, like, you know, this was all done in a week. This is a
no,
lot of
this
money.
wasn't done in a week. This was
You
done
said
in
it just
a
broke
couple of
down.
months.
I thought it just broke down.
No, it's been acting up since March.
Okay, so we've been getting.
A 2 month and a half.
We've been getting quotes for a few months now.
Yes, once they diagnosed that it was a
happen.
problem, they started to. Junior has done a lot of work.
Okay.
We've got all of them, John Deere, Cat,
Maybe we get
Chadwick Bay
updated
Ross.
ones.
These are all as of, what, you print off the printer today?
Oh,
Last week or?
Yeah, this was done over the last 2 weeks, I guess
Okay.
it is.
So these are all fresh, right? I mean, there's been a lot of time. We didn't want to have to do this, but cost effectiveness for the people.
Jason, what's the number then? If
Yeah,
you
what's the-
lease- If you lease one, like she's saying, and then you're.
I think, I hate to say it, I think Junior's got the, you gotta get up to the.
To the
yeah, you
microphone.
gotta-
I'll ask you, what's the number?
One person at a time speaking.
Months to do it.
Yeah, do you have that paperwork from
I'll go,
Junior still?
I'll ask you, yeah, I can come up there, I don't care.
You-
But I'm
you
just
have what
asking
I-
you.
Yeah, Junior has, I don't think I have the lease side of it, 'cause.
Yeah, I mean,
State
if
your
you,
name.
and Gary Gammon Jr., I don't care.
Back it up
But
one second.
if you did all that research, it took you months to do it, it should be prepared right there in front
I
of you
didn't-
for all the crowd to know this information.
Yes, I didn't do the preparing, Junior did.
So I mean,
And-
yeah, and I think that might be a smart way to go about it, is if you lease a loader, I know you can sit here and shake your head all you want, but in reality is, you know, maintenance wise and everything else, I mean, that might be a good option.
So the tax exempt leasing corporation.
Yep.
Okay, equipment cost, $209,263.
Yeah.
That's for the one that they'll
And
do
do we
the
need to lease it for a 12-month calendar year?
trade-in, $15,300.
What do you?
So we're only getting 15,000, let me get through this.
Keep that, you should be able to pass that out for a lot more than $15,000.
And we're not gonna, we're a public works, we're not a junkyard.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, if you're looking for the good of the people and you do what you gotta do, it doesn't matter. You can get people to come in and scrap that and take care of that.
Maybe. There's no guarantee.
No, it's 100%. It's not
No,
maybe,
no,
it's 100%. You can find
Okay, so-
people that, you know.
Financed amounts, $193,963. Payment frequency, annual, 4-year term at 5.89%.
Yeah,
So the payment is $52,792
per year.
per year. So that's, so 4 years, that's 5, 10, so you're looking at
$228,000
200,
roughly.
yeah, 252, 4, so you're about 210, 200, $15,000.
Times you add tax on, you're right around there. So that's the lease, that's the lease loader.
That's
But
to
you're
lease,
doing it on an annual, do we need it year round?
and that's to lease it.
But do we need it year round?
So you're talking
What if
about
you
rental?
rent
Yes, you do, we have,
Have you
Public
looked
Works,
at-
you need to have the loader here on hand, because we have a storm tomorrow
Okay,
that drops
so-
down a
so
bunch
if
of
we-
trees.
If we took and we rented one from, say, November
Yep.
to May, rented one, what would the cost of that be?
I don't know.
Has anybody looked at that?
I haven't.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, at first I was opposed to everything you guys talked about.
Yeah.
When I first came up here, I talked to you prior to the meeting. And, you know, I mean, obviously, if everybody likes their roads sanded and salted, the only way we're gonna get them sanded and salted is that loader's gotta load it in.
Yep.
We all understand that, and I'm not trying to be,
No,
I'm
I
not
understand.
trying to be, you know what, a meathead here, you know, so we gotta come up with a situation here. I just think that, you know, you giving away a loader for $30,000 and you're gonna give it back to a company that's gonna put X amount of money into it, and where's that loader gonna go?
I don't know, probably right in the junkyard.
Right back running again.
And that's their
And
choice.
so it's like, you know, to me, I think it would be better off, put the $54,000 into it, keep it over here, and then like I told you, buy a rubber tired backhoe with a thumb on it and run that around town. It's got a lot cheaper, so you're gonna be into it for $120,000, but we got two pieces of equipment. You can sit here and,
Yeah, no,
I know you don't, I know you guys don't
allow,
think
you
it
know, a
that
lot,
way, but.
yeah, I mean,
Keep
we're
it
not,
on to
this,
Article
And if that happened, okay, this loader breaks down, that backhoe, if you buy one big enough, is still able to load trucks.
yeah, with what is it?
How
3/4
many
yard?
how many trucks are running the roads?
How many what?
How many trucks are running our
We got
roads?
six,
Four?
six.
Or six?
Six.
And how fast are they coming back here? They ain't all coming at one time. I can guarantee that.
They, you know,
I
they
see
funnel in, they funnel in.
Staggered.
They funnel in, but how fast? It's fast enough for if you had a yard and a half bucket on a backhoe that could reach up over the gate, could fill it before the next one got back here.
Yeah, that,
I,
okay, you're talking about filling that truck, that's
well,
great.
that's what we really mean, that's what we need to load
Absolutely,
it for,
but now
correct?
what about in the summer, when,
So that's what I'm saying, so you run that rubber tired backhoe and go around with a thumb on it or whatever, and do everything else, which is a lot less fuel efficient, everything.
and I don't think
And you-
they're that cheap, I don't think they're as cheap as you think they are.
Have you done any research on it? Have you ever even thought about that?
205.
205,000, because I knew he was just looking it up.
Why do we have to have a brand new one? Why is everything in this town gonna be brand new, brand new, brand new?
Because that's what the people asked for when we were buying new
Anybody
trucks
ask
at
for it?
town meeting.
Town meeting.
Town meeting, everybody wanted new, we wanted used, we wanted to buy 2 used trucks. We're getting off topic here, but anyways, so, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, we go with what the people wanted at town meeting, and now you're saying we should go to used. I wanted used, but, no.
I just guess I was saying if you was gonna buy one piece of equipment, fixing a piece of equipment, you could buy another piece of equipment. And so you're telling me a backhoe, a rubber tired backhoe is more than our loader?
Yes.
$205,000?
Yes. He'll show you the picture right there.
Oh, yeah. 165 to 205.
What are you looking
so
at for a backhoe?
John Deere 410.
This is good.
That's just one.
Yep, so, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I guess I'll hold my horns in. I ain't gonna lie to anybody, but it seems to me like, the piece of equipment you're looking at, what we need and so forth, and what you wanna spend, which, the biggest thing that I found out earlier is as long as it's not coming out of tax dollars, I don't care about, I care, but I don't care.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. And the other thing I'd like to ask is, there's no other options on that loader out there. Because like I said, if you put X amount of money into that transmission, and you do that, $54,000. So if you buy a new one for $180,000 plus, what did you say, $30,000 trade-in?
No, it's.
So it's 180 plus 30, right?
No.
So it's 220?
No, the trade-in, is the one we're actually looking at is, yeah, sorry.
So with the trade-in, the John Deere is at $170,000.
170.
That's $27,000 for trade-in value.
Yeah.
And I wanna say it's like a $25,000 municipal discount or something like that, so.
So the transmission in a loader is 1/3 of the cost of it, basically, or a quarter of the cost.
That's the transmission. This 54,000 is not including the engine overhaul that it's gonna need in another 800 hours at 20 Gs.
But who says it needs it in 800 hours?
It's already noisy.
Manufacturer says it needs
It's
it.
making noise.
Yeah, they came out to inspect the transmission, they also said, hey, that noise is not good.
Gotcha.
So we're already on the radar with that too. So it's just, these guys have done their job and they've looked at every avenue. This is not
Not trying to
anything that was
question
taken lightly.
on that. It just seems like that everything just keeps going off and off and off and keeps going and going and going, and it's like everybody wants the best of the best, to be honest with you.
No, this is actually the cheap, there's one cheaper than this, but I don't think it's, I think the John Deere United is who we
No,
bought this from.
I would agree,
And I
with you
think
on that.
we're better off, and John Deere came down. They started at what, 178, and now they're down to 170?
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yep.
answer my question.
I would, I'm allowing a lot more comments on this because, being a town resident, I hear a lot of hubbub and I wanna make sure everyone's got a chance. I do wanna keep it as much on Article 2. Appreciate all the comments, that go beyond that. But we'll keep it, well, that was certainly civil enough, but, leaning towards Article 2 directly. Or where the money's coming from out of the reserve.
So just to clarify, it does get primarily used in the wintertime, but it does get used some during the summertime. And just because they gotta load the trucks with material doesn't mean that they're using the material every time they're out plowing. So there's time that they're not using the loader while they're plowing the roads because they're not wasting the material. You put material down, you let it melt, you keep scraping it. When the salt wears out, you put more down. But there's potential to go over the road a couple of times before you have to come back and reload. So I don't know if people understand how that all works. It'd probably be a good conversation to have with people sometime. But yeah, it's not like they go out, burn the material, come back and reload every time they go out and do their route.
Any, Jake?
I just wanted to clarify my comment on like renting one. I was talking about like if it broke down in the middle of the night and we needed to rent one tomorrow. Although Brittany's right, I mean, there's lots of availability if you're gonna rent something for the season. That is more expensive than purchasing it in the long run, but again, you only have it for the season. But to try to find something for tomorrow, because your loader just broke down, that's a lot different because all those loaders that they rent for the season are out. Or they've reserved a few for the, okay, you can have it for the day, you can have it for the week, but in this case, I mean, this loader, I'm guessing these repairs are gonna be a week or more probably at the dealership, so you'd need to rent a loader for kind of a month in the middle of the winter, and I'm just not sure that's available, that's all it's.
Any other town comments before Article 2, before we vote?
Bonnie?
Money.
Sorry. Are we being asked to approve 180,000 like it says?
It says up
But I've
to.
heard the figure of 170,000 tonight. Could you please clarify?
Yes, no,
Up
the
to.
article's written for up to 180,000.
Okay, good.
Anything not spent, up to 180,000 will be put back in the
Up
reserve
to-
account.
So
When
once,
we were looking at it, Bonnie, originally, that was 178 is where they were. And then just in, I think, in the last week, is they finally come down to 170. So there'll be $10,000 roughly put back into the account. But the way the article reads is up to,
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
I thought Emil just said that it's gonna be down, you take the, the trade-in value, is that 170 with the trade-in value?
Yes.
Cause I thought he just said it would be around 150.
No, it's 170 with 27,000 of trade-in value.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Would you clarify what happens if we don't vote this in? Sorry.
That's fine, I'll allow that.
So the question was, what happens if it doesn't get voted in?
Yeah, so we'll have to go back to the drawing board. We can look at options, but at this point, it would be to send the loader in for the repair at up to whatever the estimate was there. But to do that, we would also have to come back for more money because the total maintenance line, I wanna say it's like around 60,000 total. That covers all the vehicles, and so you're talking of, we've already done maintenance to other vehicles, but even if we had a full budget, you'd pretty much burn that maintenance budget up on this one repair.
And we'd still be without the loader. So if anything happened that we needed a loader, it'd be, yeah. Yeah, you'd have to rent one if you can rent one, if you can. And in the case of it, that just, you know, in the case of storms, you just don't know. We had a pretty gnarly few storms there, this weekend, you know, or the last couple days, the thunderstorm. If that was windy, take down trays, wash out roads. I mean, if we can't load the trucks, or we can load the truck, but we're gonna load it with, all we have here is about a half yard or quarter yard bucket on the excavator. I mean, it's a public works
I
department.
mean, I think we're through the gist of this winter. I don't think that's an issue. I don't know how long it would take to do the repair. I think it really comes down to, is it worth putting the money into or not? So, we did have a time when the loader was broken down back when Sean was here. It was like in an evening, I wanna say it was like on Friday or something. And he reached out to FR Carroll's at the time and tried to get them to bring a loader over because we had a storm coming in. Fortunately, they were able to get the part and come out and fix it before we needed to do that. But I think that's what Jake's getting to, is when it breaks down, generally it's gonna be when we need it the most. And what do we do? So.
Bonnie?
I'm sorry.
You better be.
Is it, Bonnie, is it possible in the realm of just thinking that we could help out another town sometime, at least let them know we have a brand new, beautiful, we paid so much money for this new, it's gonna be so beautifully maintained by our excellent department loader, and we could rent it to them from time to time if they need. Do we ever do mutual aid with each other's towns?
I mean, if we had a natural disaster and we need to go help Cornish, Limerick or something, and, you know, tornadoes went through or something, it's a different story, but.
Well, we'd help them because.
I mean, yeah, if we
I'm
really needed
serious,
to.
really. I mean, it's kind of like we all buy a tool that we might use a little bit in the year, but our neighbor might pay a little,
But,
you know,
yeah.
we would never rent this to another town.
No.
Move the question.
There you go.
I'm sorry?
Moving the question.
Oh, wow, look at that. I gotta look that one up.
That means vote on it.
Did you
Vote
have
on
it? Is that what you were saying, Tim? Okay.
Suggestions beyond the question.
You have to vote, you gotta move the question.
You gotta vote to move the
There's a
question.
2/3 vote to move the question.
We do. We need to vote whether to move the question.
Do we have a motion?
I think there was a motion.
We had a motion, a
Need a
second.
second?
Second.
Oh, and second set?
And show of hands,
All in favor?
All in favor for moving? Ooh, look at
Okay.
that. That's a definite. I won't even count.
All in favor of the motion?
All in favor, that passes, by the way. Any other, so there's no other comments, let's do that. Let's do a
Move the
vote.
question.
Call the vote.
Yeah, let's call the vote.
Read the question again.
Article 2, we're voting to see if the town will vote to approve up to $180,000 to come out of the capital improvement reserve account to purchase a new loader as discussed. Actually, I don't have to say that. All those, with a show of hands, all those in favor? Can you count that one?
That's a majority.
Did you count? I got 24.
You got 22.
I'm sorry, can we do that one more? We had two, just to count, we had.
Keep your hands up.
Two. Keep your hands up. I missed.
24.
Yep.
Yep. And all those opposed?
Nine.
Article 2, by a show of hands, passes 24 to a negative of 9. And that closes that out. The article, moving on to Article 3, motion to adjourn.
Excuse me, can we open this up for comments from the audience for some other business this time?
No, not tonight.
Again, huh?
It's a long night.
Well, Mr. Moderator, I voted for you to be the moderator on the preface that everyone would get to speak.
This was just, this warrant was a special town meeting just for Article 1, 2, and 3.
Selectmen meetings after. This is just a special town meeting.
Oh, after this?
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, goody, I get to hang out.
So they get to enjoy some more time here. That was actually quicker than I thought it
Do
would
we have a
be.
motion to adjourn?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Jake, second.
All in
And all favor? Special town warrant is adjourned.
You might want to get a copy of that if you're gonna do
I
this.
gotta do that, yeah. Well,
I'm gonna do it during our try. We all know why I'm here.
yeah.
Okay.
There. Sorry, I was off. Pressing fast.
Jumped right on it.
I don't want to make sure everybody.
I was. Yes, okay.
No, I didn't.
No, I did too. Okay, we're gonna move on to the regular town meeting, regular business meeting. Anybody that wants to talk, if you could exit left or right, would be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna call to order the select board meeting for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 at 8:12.
So the baby's.
I will await a motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 16th.
Make a motion to approve of meeting minutes for April 16th, 2026.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, approval for warrants for week 17. Payroll warrant number 35 for $33,870.44. Appropriations warrant number 36, $585,480.83, which includes the MSA D6 assessment, totaling $619,351.27. I'm awaiting a motion.
I make a motion to approve warrants for week 17, payroll warrant number 35, appropriations warrant number 36.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussions? No? All in favor? Okay. Review of office hour discussions. Do we have that? No, there was really not.
We didn't.
Yeah, we really didn't talk about much today, just signs, warrants and stuff, so.
We just talked about listening, assisted listening.
Oh, the
Yes.
assisted living
Yeah, we
device.
spoke about assisted listening for this system. We currently have speakers up here. I'm not sure if it's helping you guys or not, but there's a second option down the road that's earpieces. So you can control the volume yourself at a added cost. So it's something we're approaching.
There's
So-
limited volume that we can turn up here in this room for you guys to hear in the back, because we get feedback. So it's at the limit where we don't get feedback right now, so. Sorry for you guys way in the back.
Can you hear us in the back?
Everybody can hear pretty good? Yeah? Okay.
All right.
Department head and updates. Or you want to, or department heads?
That would be Dave.
Yeah, because,
Department reports.
sorry.
Department of Public Works, week ending April 18, 2026. Road crew, remove hoppers from trucks, clean and placed in storage, clean bodies of trucks that had the hoppers in them all winter. Service Truck 5 began road projects starting with Hubbard Ave Culvert Project. Nothing for fleet maintenance this week. Buildings and grounds, this was a short week for the tech as he was out of town for solid waste training for the transfer station. Continued wall repairs at Old Town Hall Meeting Room. Installed and set up the wireless HDMI unit at Municipal Complex for meeting room. Cleaned Municipal Complex. Completed minor electrical work at Old Town Hall. Collected weekly recycling throughout town and took to transfer station. The Director of Payroll, Fuel and Parts slips, weekly report to Board of Selectmen, compiled transfer station weekly numbers, travel to Rockland Sunday afternoon through Tuesday evening for a solid waste conference, traveled to Saco all day Wednesday for a work zone safety training, and the department worked a total of 201 hours this week. The transfer station numbers, total number of transfer station users was 168. For the 15th, 18th, and 19th, and total recyclers was 140 for 83% of the users. For a total revenue of $515 for that 3 days. Limington Fire EMS, week ending April 18, 2026. There were 14 calls this week. That was 1 fire call, 13 EMS calls. Month to date, we're at 40. Year to date, 209. There were several open shifts this week, but they were covered by the deputy chief and the members who covered short notice. Trainings in-house on Wednesdays. Crews spent the evening doing driver recertification on apparatuses. This is only required every 3 years for state compliance, but we do it annually. Away, Sunday the 12th, we held our annual spring live fire training at the Hollis Burn Building. Along with Limerick, Baldwin, and Standish fire departments, spent the day conducting live fire and search and rescue evolutions. Between the 4 departments, there were 32 firefighters in attendance. Engine 6 spent several days at the DPW for a wiring issue with the taillights. It is still out of service and will be back to the DPW this week, hopefully resolve this lasting issue. Month to date, there are 2 calls ahead of last April. Year to date, there are 9 calls behind last year. There were 2 requests for mutual aid this week, an EMS call to Limerick and an intercept for Sockby Rescue. The chief worked a combined 66.5 hours this week. Again, the chief was out of town in Rockland Sunday evening through Tuesday evening for a solid waste conference and out of town all day in Saco for a zone safety training. Parks and Rec, the 12th through the 18th, current weekly programs, before and after care, school child care. Coffee social every Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Old Town Hall. Pickleball Monday and Fridays at 6 p.m. at HB Emery Gym. It's a $2 drop-in fee. Youth Open Gym Tuesday nights at 5:30 p.m. at HB Emery. 3-on-3 basketball for 5th and 7th grade Thursday nights at HB Emery. Open registration online at limingtonrec.com. Summer camp registration, spring track and field for children in pre-K up to 5th grade, starting Monday, April 27th. Practice will be Monday and Fridays at HB Emery from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. The registration fee is $55. Line dancing with Denise class is every Friday at 10 a.m. at the Old Town Hall, $10 drop-in fee. Spring rugby for children in K through 12th grade. Youth field hockey clinic, adult co-ed softball league, and community yard sale. Youth programming, this was our last week of open gym and 3-on-3 basketball. Big thanks to Jamie Warden and Vicky Hillick for extending our basketball season until spring sports start up. Next week, track, t-ball, flag football, rugby, and field hockey will all be starting up. Adult programming, this week we had a great mystery lunch where we went to Kin's Place for seafood in Scarborough and dessert at Papa's Ice Cream in Standish. Our next outing is for Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday, May 5th, and we are leaving from the Old Town Hall at 10:15 to head to El Mexicano in Sanford for lunch. Please reach out to Madison to reserve your spot on the bus. $5 transportation fee, and you're responsible for purchasing your own lunch.
Nice.
Thank you.
Where are we here?
So town manager weekly updates.
Okay, the online community resilience grant application has been started. If residents want to see meeting agendas or meeting minutes, they just need to click agendas on the website. RHR Smith and Company has informed me that the 24 and 25 audits are moving along faster than forecasted. At this pace, both audits should be done by midsummer. And our new code enforcement office assistant started this week.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Any old business, new business?
I think we covered that in the earlier meeting.
Covered all that.
Yep.
Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. Anybody up to speak? The podium's yours. Just state your name and address.
Address?
Yep.
Yep.
Just road.
Road.
Just your road.
Not your, yeah. And your social security number and your, yeah.
Please deposit your firstborn at the town hall.
Actually, I'm here to talk about that. I'd love to. They're very expensive. So I'll be talking to you folks about the Limington Rec program. That is a signed petition by, I think, pretty much every family at the Emory Rec program.
So what's your name and address?
Oh, we were just talking about that. I am Cameron LaPlante. I live over on Stonecrest.
Stonecrest, you said?
So as you can see from that, it's most of the families at the rec program. I believe it was 26 signatures. And if you check the dates on there, that was pretty much done in one day. And that's all for Miss Jamie, who was here.
She stepped out.
So my question to you folks, there are gonna be some other folks talking. I know other folks were here about this as well, but what's going on with this? Why are we letting someone who is not only good at her job, but passionate about her job, leave without a fight?
That I'm gonna direct towards Jamie. She gave her notice.
And she has
We'll
explained
just
that.
hold on one second then.
She has explained that to us. I guess there were some inconsistencies with her pay.
Well, these are, okay, before we get too out of hand here, this is open comment, open forum. Anything to do with personnel matters is a classified secret situation that needs to be taken up with the personnel department, which is the town manager on town manager time. It's not an open forum for that.
Well, I do believe we can discuss our children, correct? The rec program
You
that
absolutely
the town
can.
pays for, and who is going to be taking care of my son.
That would be a question that the public works, the Parks and Rec director would answer. As soon as, have we put out a?
It's been advertised.
It's been advertised, so I can't answer that for you yet. As soon as Madison gets people in, they'll be going through a interview process with Matt and the rec director and.
And I understand that, and I'm not asking for who's gonna be taking over. I'm asking why we're letting someone who was crying when she told me that she wasn't gonna be at the rec program anymore, go. This is a woman who takes care of my children. Do you folks have children?
I do.
And if, say, somebody started messing with your child's happiness, not something you're gonna take sitting down, correct?
So.
Not really,
I would
but I
say,
mean.
and I love Jamie, we see eye to eye on some stuff, but I'm gonna say this on a personal level. How far do we go to keep someone here? And I know she's doing a lot for Madison and she's doing a lot for the rec program. She made the decision to leave. Her reasons for leaving are between this board and that man down there, right? She may not understand that that's the decision we are not going with, or we're not going fast enough because the meetings have happened, right? The decision wasn't made fast enough, or we didn't make a decision fast enough, or we haven't done something fast enough. If we were to do stuff quicker than that, we'll be back here saying you did not tell us that you were doing stuff. We have moved forward on some stuff that Matt is taking care of. He's not doing A&P now. It takes time. We have to train people to take over that. And these, in my opinion, is the reason why Miss Warden is leaving, right? Because the town is not moving fast enough for her to make change. Whether she's And that's her business. I love her. And we agree on some stuff for a better part of a year. Sorry, Matt. Me and Matt have not seen eye to eye on stuff, but we are a board. We are a government. It does run slow, right? We're only here on Thursdays. We can't even talk outside this room when we're not here. Because if two of us are together, that's a meeting, right? So we have to make those decisions here, right? And then it comes down to funding. Do we hire another person? Are we going back to the town so we can ask for more tax money? He tried to save the town money by doing this job. Is it working? Yes, no. Depends who you talk to, right? But if I went to my old job and said, hey, I'll bring the fire department up. Sorry, chief. I love emo, but I all don't like everything emo does, right? But I'm not gonna quit because a policy came out that I didn't like. Because that's my job. And my job is to take care of the citizens of this town. Ultimately, my job is not really this, it's my part-time job. I work for 3 fire departments and here. So it's up to her if she wants to leave. If she wants to leave, some people might not fight to keep her. And I know Madison wants to keep her here.
Well, I can tell you.
But she's not the only one in that department who is taking care of children.
No.
So if she's the only one that you trust and you don't trust anybody else in that department to take care of your children, then you're probably in the wrong program.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
Because these.
And I would love to see her here. I wave at her when she goes by and I go to the, I get it. I'm on your side. I'm not fighting you on this, but what is the solution? We know there's a lot of argument towards the manager here. He was hired, he's here, right?
Don't know the man, don't have an opinion on you.
True. Well, a lot of people have opinions. Yes, he's from Massachusetts, but you know why? We were told not to hire people from the town. We were told to hire from people out of state or out of this area, right?
All right.
That is a state thing. Those are state rules or regulations or guidances that we follow. Just to pull this out there. I'm just gonna go off because I sit over here a lot and don't say anything. So there's a lot of stuff that people don't see when we come in the office. We've even had meetings with MMA because we don't get along that you guys had to pay for because we had to pay the bill, right? Things happen here. And I wish you guys can come in here and sit with us from 2 to 8. And I know you have a job, so do I. I've been up all night running calls, but I'm here. Right? And I gotta be back here at 6 a.m. And we're well past our time here alone, right? Because we had a special town meeting. Sorry. I'm gonna feel better when I get home, but I understand your thing, right? I'm not arguing against this and the families that are there, but to me, when you say that, it's like Madison doesn't matter. The other people in his care, the caregivers don't matter.
You know who I see every day?
Because he's the director.
Is he at Emory? Is he at? I have never once seen him.
I fully run
But he is the director though, right?
Right.
I've got a boss. I don't think he works very hard. And I don't
I got
know
a fire
Madison.
chief and a public works director who's everywhere, but his men do things too, right?
I'm sure.
But
I see her every day. She cares for my son.
I understand
every
that.
day.
I understand that. And I'm not
I know.
talking down to
I
your family and
understand.
children or anybody else who's watching, right? I don't have kids. I probably never will have kids.
It's a lot
It doesn't
cheaper that
happen
way.
between
Yeah, but
my relationships.
Can I just say something too? You know, when I started this job, I offered to do accounts payable and payroll. I didn't ask for extra money. I didn't ask for extra compensation. And I did both jobs without complaint because I care about the taxpayers saving them money and trying to find better ways and more efficient ways to do things.
And I appreciate
And in
that.
saving that money can be directed back towards the rec department, the fire department, public works, hiring a part-time mechanic, hiring a building and grounds tech. I was willing to do that.
So
And I'm happy I did that and I would do it again.
Are we okay to talk about stuff, Jamie?
Talk about anything,
Okay.
I don't care.
So my question to you then, sir, what's your payroll background? Have you worked at a payroll company? When I was looking up your profile, teaching came up 30-something years as a teacher, which, thank you. But I didn't see anything about a
I have
payroll.
a finance degree. I was a financial analyst in the corporate world before I was a teacher.
I've got a
And
psych degree. Haven't
I've
used that
run
much.
several small businesses which require me to do payroll, so.
Okay, so you do have a background with payroll.
I do.
Then why couldn't we get it right in 2 months?
There were mistakes that happened before I came here, and I've been cleaning up the messes. On my watch, the 23 audit is now done, the 24 audit is almost done, and the 25 audit is almost done. Those are things that happen on my watch and the team that I built to get those things done for the taxpayers and this town.
Fair enough.
We've had 3 different bookkeepers in the past 5 years. Actually, no, 4.
4.
In the last 4 years, because 5 years ago, they they changed from Northern Data to Trio. Trio is a very complex system. A lot of towns use it now. But there were mistakes made in the setup of the way they programmed it for us. And we didn't know what we didn't know because we weren't told that things may not have been getting done correctly, but we didn't know that until we swapped 2 other people and then Matt came in. And then he was telling us what was going on in the system, and with a lot of help and a lot of outside help, because he's quick to reach out for help. He didn't just muddle along in it. And mistakes made? Absolutely. I mean, there might have been some hiccups here along the way, but there were many in the past 4 years made. And so we've been trying to clean all of that up. And when they all came to light, that's when things started getting cleaned up, because we were asking other people, what do we do in this instance? People that knew the system, people that knew bookkeeping, people that knew how to set up main PERS, because that's a whole new bundle in its own. So this all took time, and it's taken time. We're not completely there yet, but we've made great strides in getting out of the fix that we've been in. And he's only been here since July. He started mid-July, right, with no training. So that's when he started reaching out for help to people who actually knew it. He went to other town managers. He's like, what do you do? Who do I contact? Help me out. So he has been able to reach out and get some very good help, here. So it's been a process. Like David said, things don't get fixed quickly in government. So, and that's.
I was in the government too, so I served your country proudly.
Thank you.
Got a little far afield from where I was originally going.
No, it's not like, I don't think we're gonna go out and box for her. Like, she made the decision to leave, right? There's a whole department over there, Madison and all of them. I know they care about your children.
I have no doubt that they
But
do.
she's making that decision. We're not forcing her out. We didn't write her up. We haven't held her accountable for anything. It wasn't a mistake. The first incident was covered. We gave her everything she requested and returned. It took a little while because we had to make some conversation pieces to correct it, right? But it was corrected. The second incident, that was a town-wide thing. It wasn't just her.
Okay.
Okay, and that was corrected that day. The moment I got noticed, 3 hours, it was corrected. And they all got paid the next day. So for me, the reasoning behind you leaving is probably a bad reason to leave. So.
Have you folks done anything to keep her? Now.
What are we gonna do? Bonuses, extra days off? Like, she wants it.
So, I'm sure you all work in businesses outside of this, the fire department. So.
Don't even ask what I get paid over there. Way less than her.
I was thinking more, you folks know how hard it is to find somebody with 2 brain cells and a pulse to do a job.
I will tell you this, EMS is right now, we are so far behind on pay, equipment, people, and staffing, right? We are fighting for everybody at the fire departments. Every fire station's hiring, right?
And that is the
But
way
you know what?
every business out there.
Your dollars, I can't just be throwing at people. Here's a sign-on bonus to come to Limington. Here's this, here's that, right? We kind of have to sell ourselves with people and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know exactly what else you're expecting us to do. Like, Madison is her boss. If Madison really, 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 really wants to keep her, they should probably have a conversation, right? But I'm a feeling it's boiling down to Matt. Because every conversation that we've had up until now has been about the town manager, right?
And the other flip side to this is truly what you see, the three of us, it's not our decision to be made with anything. Because currently, when the town manager form of government came into play, he is now he's in charge of HR and people. We are not. We don't handle the employees anymore. The board is out of it. So
But does he not report to you folks?
he reports to us, but how the system works is he handles HR and personnel matters. If he was to fire somebody, then say you worked here, he fired you. You wanted to contest it. We, the board, you would now appeal to the select board. Above us is court. So if you didn't like say we agreed with Matt, then you could go to court. Or if we agreed with you, we could hire you back. But the board is now out of the personnel matters. That's how this form of government works. The town manager, select board form of government.
All right.
As soon as everybody voted on it and it changed.
So
By law, our jobs changed.
In comparison, in private sector, right, every private sector has a board of directors, but they just get together every now and then, make big decisions and big money, where management is like president of the company, things like that, right? They do HR, things like that. So that's where Matt's at, if you put it into private sector world. They're the board of directors and essentially out of the daily operations.
Fair enough.
But I didn't read that thing, so I was.
No, here, it's just, I think it boils down to Jamie, I mean, I don't know. All I got was Madison come in and advised the town manager and the board that Jamie gave her notice. And that's exactly how it was. There was no explanation. We understood it probably had something to do with ill effects towards Matt, and that's her choice. I don't know, I mean, if, that's not what I wanted to hear, to be honest, because I know Madison was pretty upset about it. And he was pretty worried, and I don't blame him.
But did Madison come and have a meeting with you all?
No, Madison didn't.
He did.
Well, he came and advised us that she was leaving. He didn't have a meeting with us, per se, did he?
Formal meeting.
And he wouldn't have had a formal meeting with us.
Last Thursday, he had a meeting with us, let us know that he's gonna have to cut programs because she's leaving.
We're gonna have to what?
Cut programs.
Thank you.
I said that.
I just didn't hear it clearly.
What programs would those be?
He didn't say.
Oh.
So, he said because 6 children
I do
will be
believe he
leaving.
didn't say cut
No, he didn't,
program.
Cobra. He said he's gonna be cut spread thin, spread thin, right? Because 6 children are leaving, he's gonna lose income, he's gonna have to do more stuff, which he does a lot of stuff already, so.
The rec program is fantastic. I am not here to complain about the
I'm glad we
rec
stole
program.
him from Hollis.
I want to
so.
be very clear about that. But a lot of what makes that program great for
People.
yes,
But
and
1 out of, how many are there? How many employees you got?
We have, for the girls, they're all part-time though, and they're college students, so.
I'm part-time
we have
also,
girls
but
that are
there's, I know there's about 21 of us in the fire department, so, but if we're losing 1, like, I'm not sure where the happy medium is to keep you here, other than to fire Matt,
Well, I think it starts.
which is not gonna
I
happen
mean,
because,
if you wanna talk, you gotta come up here, just so they, the
I've
people at
had quite a
home.
bit of time, so I'll let.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me speak this time, and sorry I was a little grumpy with you folks.
that's
No,
okay.
it's just,
A little past my bedtime.
well, mine too. I was up, I work full-time. I was up at 4:30 this morning.
Same.
And I was here, and I'm here until it's now going on 9. I'm missing the NFL draft. So-
The draft
Right, no,
people.
exactly. The NFL draft is not, no, anyway.
Our children are important.
No, I'm not saying that.
So
And-
I think the problem is, would you keep showing up to work if your paycheck was wrong every single week?
It was wrong once.
No, it's not. It's
Oh, no.
still wrong, actually.
Is it still,
It's
then
still
how come
wrong. So
nobody's-
why would and more employees are actually getting real sick of this, and they're getting ready to stop showing up. So then where is our rec department, and who is watching our children?
I haven't got any complaints, have you?
Nobody said there
Have
was.
you again? No.
They're at the point, well, why keep complaining when it's not being fixed?
Then that's their
Do you know
problem.
this becomes a like big problem? Like a big problem?
I think you're talking about
Like state-wise?
deductions because the accounting firm has been in the system fixing things that were wrong.
Gotcha.
So some of the deductions might have been wrong before, and now they're corrected.
Yeah.
Those aren't things I'm doing.
Yeah.
Those are things that
We have a
our
firm
auditing
that's, we're actually paying money to correct
So
these
then
things.
how is it not every employee and just select employees that
I'm
this
down.
is happening to?
I can't answer that because you wanna know why? I owe
Why are we hearing about it right
$157 to the town. They took
What's been going on every
they
week?
paid me $157.
Because nothing's
weeks ago.
being done about it, so they're not gonna keep showing up when nothing's being done.
We need documentation. If something.
Pay stubs, right
Then
there.
show it to us. Show us what's wrong, what you think it should be, and what it's not.
It's not what we think, it's the math is math. Math don't lie, when the numbers aren't matching, money's missing, whether it's $1 or not, that dollar is not someone else's to keep, it's whoever it worked those hours, whether it's $1 or $50. And you guys have already fixed other issues, yes, you covered hers, but her problem you fixed, others you've said hush hush, because you don't wanna cover them for other people.
I don't know who
So
we're
what are we
hush-hushing.
doing?
Talking about here. Hush, hush.
Main PERS, do we wanna go there?
Sure.
Go as far as you want.
Let's talk about main PERS.
Okay, there was another employee that had
talk
to pay
about
the
it right
difference
now.
out of their pocket,
'Cause I
right,
was
and the
accu-
town
I was
didn't?
accused of doing something illegal, so let's talk about main PERS.
I didn't say you did something
Well, your
illegal.
sister did.
When? Where?
A couple meetings ago. She said I illegally took money out of her check.
You did.
I did not.
If you're doing payroll, then who did it?
Yes, you did. $260.
$260 you had withheld from, you told actually the lady in New Hampshire that you hired to hold that. We could have her conference her.
That was
and-
money that Jamie owed into main PERS.
But that's not for you to say to hold it. Who are you to say to hold money?
She owed money to main PERS.
That's not for you to say you're
Of
going
course
to.
it is.
No, it is not. You guys are gonna have a lawsuit coming.
So the taxpayers paid for it.
Right, and then.
Anybody else?
When these problems,
I'm not
how
gonna-
do these problems not cost the taxpayers more money in the long run?
What do you mean?
If we're
There's been a lot
covering
of
up
problems.
fuck-ups, then.
Well, you gotta watch your
where-
mouth, number one. Number two, there is a lot of problems that are being corrected. This is the stuff that you folks don't see behind the scenes. I see it day in and day out, and I've had a rude awakening when I decided to run because it's a reality.
I can't wait to see it, because I'm going to get involved.
Good,
Because there's
perfect.
none of this makes sense.
Because-
There should not be, Buxton Bill even said, get out of finances, right? From what I've heard, did Buxton Bill not say?
Buxton Bill is here every Wednesday helping
Right,
Matt.
right, and he suggested that he's not doing payroll, so why is his hand still in payroll? You guys love Buxton Bill.
Do you want another, okay, you want another special town meeting so we can allot 60, 70 grand to hire a new payroll company?
Maybe,
Do
yes.
you want one?
Yes, I
Then,
would.
okay, then come into the office and give a written request to Matt, and we will schedule another payroll, another town
Perfect, I'll be
meeting.
here tomorrow morning, thank
Okay,
you.
no, absolutely. If you guys want to spend the money, and it's got to pass a vote.
Yes, we do
So-
wanna spend the money.
Yeah, you do.
No, the town does
You do.
actually.
I can tell you, I don't want to spend the money. And I'm not saying that Matt's great at that end of it. I've butted heads with him. I have. And I'm not kidding. But the end result here is, where do you draw the line? There's so many
Exactly, where do
screw
you
ups.
draw the line?
There's so many ill things from the
I would like to
past
hear from you and
that is coming.
an actual employee. I love.
Yes, I.
Okay, your sister says a lot, but let's hear from you.
Yes, for one, my parents want to be heard. Everybody is heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yes, I am getting done because of the ongoing issues with Matt. So it is clear that you guys did have a meeting all together one day to discuss all of the payroll mistakes and the money that had to do with me and other employees. You also did discuss during that meeting for the $260 that I owed Maine PERS, that was your mistake for not putting it in right, was not to be taken out, correct? You guys, just correct?
Yes, end of the day.
So then on Sunday,
Okay.
after you, can I please finish? So you guys discussed that, you all had that agreement. On Sunday, Matt went and called Sierra, our girl that nobody knew was hired, that lives in New Hampshire, and said, pull the money. After they all had a meeting agreeing that that's not what they were going to do. And he called on a Sunday and said, pull the money. So then I had $260, completely blindsided me, which you don't know me, Matt, because you haven't taken the time to even get to know me. So I am a single mother of 3 kids. That $260 could have been to feed my kids that week. And there was no sympathy with you at all. But you did it not after the meeting with them saying that's not how we're going to do things, and you called her on a Sunday and said, pull the $260.
I don't think that's not the order of business.
I then called Sierra myself. I came to your office, correct? Asked for her contact information. You only wanted to provide me with an email, but I was determined, so I got her phone number. I called her, and she let me know that you told her to pull the money. She told you that you needed to have me sign something legally, and you said no. And so she, listening to her boss, went ahead and did it. That's how that played out. That is the truth. This isn't the only payroll issue, though, and I come in time to time because you haven't done payroll.
I'm gonna, let me clarify.
So my parents just want to be heard, because at the end of the day, Madison does not run before and after care. He does not run our vacation camps. He does not run the K through 3rd grade summer camp. I run all of that. I am doing this on my own with the few girls that I have. We need more employees, and we can't even get the help we need right now. We're short-staffed. We are losing several kids because I am leaving. We usually have 50 kids in summer camp for K through 3rd and 4th through 7th. Right now, we have 17 kids in the younger group, and we have 22 kids in the older group. We are usually at a waiting list right now. Our revenue is going way down. This, a very big reason, is because I'm leaving. Because I will say I am the heart of before and after care and our vacation camps. And then I took on the responsibility as well to start doing other activities. We've got softball, we've got flag football, we've got adult softball. That's all me. And we've got people wondering who is going to take care of their kids. Because right now, we don't have a positive candidate that can do that. You can't just hire any Joe Schmo to come in here and do what I do and deal with what I deal with every day. And then to go on top of it and say, hey, it's not promised that your check's gonna be correct every week either. Who wants that job? We go above and beyond for our community. Matt, you haven't taken a minute to even come and see what we do. You've never stepped foot into our space once.
That is incorrect.
You've been to HB Emory?
I've been over the rec department.
No, have you been to HB Emory?
I've been doing 2 jobs.
Matt, have you been to HB Emory? That's where we run our program.
Okay.
I'm just saying, that's all. Because these are the bigger issues. This is more. Our community runs on Limington Parks and Rec. We had nothing before Madison come in.
And I've
I built
very supportive and very complimentary of the rec department.
You haven't been supportive at all.
So
I haven't received an email from you. I haven't
that
received
is
a
an
call.
absolute lie. And I'm gonna speak to the taxpayers who are watching this and the taxpayers.
Please do, because
I have sent this woman emails, which she's never responded to. She came into my office, was very unprofessional, left in a huff, slammed the door, okay? Jamie, explain who, the first 2 weeks of this year, who paid your main PERS?
Well, Matt, that's very interesting that you asked that question.
Taxpayers. The taxpayers paid yours. We have about 9 people in main PERS. You're the only one who got 2 free weeks this year.
How many months did it take me to fight for all of these mess ups?
Excuse me, I didn't make the mistake in main PERS. That goes back to last March.
No, but you did this year.
Last
At the
March.
beginning of this year, you did make those mistakes.
No.
Yes, you
We
did.
fixed those mistakes by having you pay your share, not the taxpayers.
So I actually
Because the
signed off on a
taxpayers
piece of
paid
paper, the
your first
$260.
2 weeks.
The town
They didn't
paid
pay
for it.
anybody else, but they paid yours.
And I was asked to be quiet about it, Matt. I was asked to be quiet about it. It went on long enough and I couldn't get an answer. Months, it was months. Am I wrong?
Jamie, who
It was
paid your
not.
main purse for last year?
Oh my. Matt, the town paid my main
Did
purse.
they pay anybody else
because-
main purse?
No, because no
They
one
paid
else has
yours.
a voice to come up and say, this is wrong. Matt, you didn't want to pay it. You lied to main purse, because I was the only one that can contact main purse. You told Sierra, you tried
I
blaming
can-
Sierra
I can-
first after I talked to her.
I can contact
We could go
main
on
purse.
and on. I'm a very honest and truthful person, and I have documentation of things as well. And I'm more than happy to put all of my emails from you on Facebook, on our websites, whatever. I have nothing to hide. My whole heart and soul is here. I was born and raised in Limington.
Okay, Jamie.
So, well, I'm just saying, I'm trying to
No,
tell
I
the truth
understand.
here.
I just,
But we can end. I'm just saying my
no, I'm
parents
not
want to be
saying,
heard.
at the end of the day,
and not
Jamie,
upset.
and I'm not being sarcastic, I'm not being any way, shape, or form. For somebody, people, at the end of the day, for somebody that loves this town and loves your people, why are you quitting? It's a one,
I've ended up in the hospital twice, dealing with the stress of all of this, not getting answers, going on and on. I lose sleep every night. My kids are the ones that are suffering from the amount of stress that I carry day to day with all of this.
I was in the hospital from stress.
Thank you.
Last Sunday.
Twice, this year. But
I'm just saying, I'm not
that's what
trying to
I'm
be.
just saying. So it becomes
I don't
a
sleep
point
at
where
night,
you
but I'm not
can't-
quitting, Jamie.
You can't take when you can't take it anymore.
That's understandable,
We
but
talk about
I mean,
things and then does it get fixed? No. And
the
how
problem
long,
is the
months
payroll
to think
thing,
something
it's a work in progress and nothing's perfect. And he's doing the best that he can with what we have in the town. It was a couple of screw ups. It's not constant. If it's constant, I'd love to see you. I'd love to bring the paperwork and then we'll hand it off to the attorneys and let them see what is right and what is wrong. I'm okay with that, but the end
The whole
result.
payroll thing is you guys let me know, it's not gonna change. He's gonna continue this job. Okay, but I've gone through, so if we were to get a payroll company, it's $107. I've made calls to just find out. I had another guy that owns a physical therapy place in Waterboro. He watched the meeting that I had come up here and spoke and then was like yelled at after. And he then sat me down at physical therapy with my son and shared how much he pays from his company because he was like, this is wild, right? So you have other businesses too that I'm an employee here, but then you have other people too that see that there is an issue. And it's actually very affordable for us to go ahead and go through a company. It's very affordable. For all the mistakes that has happened and what we have paid out, and then the ones that haven't even been cleared up yet, I mean, we would have covered several weeks, months
What mistakes have we had to pay out?
of payroll.
I'm
So
not-
I'm just saying, there's so many
Jamie,
options,
what-
and I'm just saying,
What
I've done
mistakes have we had to
research,
pay out?
and it would be wonderful if we could just take the time and just see, because if that could put your employees at ease and they know that they're getting what they worked hard for every week, that is correct, for $107 a week to take care of our finances, and then guess what? It's not on us here at the town, so then we
So we
can't
had
be
to pay
upset with
out.
you or you, but we could be upset with the company.
No, I have no problem. I'll get some prices. That's not a problem, Jamie. I'll get some prices.
Yeah, and I have
just-
a list of the companies too that I've
What I'm getting
contacted,
at here
because
is
I didn't know exactly how many employees.
I don't know of any other problems, okay? To be 110%, I haven't had anybody else come into here or away from here and talk to me about payroll problems.
Well, now I
Other
think
than the
it's like
fact
we
that
fixed on it because it happens so many times, and now it's
there's
like,
a couple
oh,
of cents here, a couple of
$10
cents
and
there.
something, but it all
But
adds
the
up.
problem
what I'm
is,
saying.
right now, we've also got a big firm in trying to correct these problems. So there is a little things that are tweaking every time.
And my other question too is like, so when that happens, how come we can't just attach a note or send an email or attach a note like, why was that different this week? Explain it to us, because I don't know, but do you know why it was different?
Yeah,
Can we
I
find
don't
an
really.
answer?
I mean, it would, that's a lot of time if everybody had a couple of cents or
I'm not
a
saying
dollar
cents,
here.
but like,
I know,
you know,
but they
at a
really
certain
shouldn't be
point,
swinging,
then
right now,
if
at this
it's-
point, they shouldn't be swinging more than cents, maybe $1 is all I've ever heard. I heard Craig mention something about it was 73 cents difference from last week to this week. He's a salaried employee. But what it is it's with the firm, things have been screwed up. We're not taking that out. And it wasn't, this is prior to Matt. This is prior to Matt, as much
I
as,
didn't have a lot of these issues prior to, is what I'm
because as
saying.
Matt's coming on trying to fix these issues, then it's starting to,
There was only, I think you guys had to write me a check for $25 of my last year mess ups. I'm already over $25 this year. I'm just saying, and that wasn't, so this is who's doing our payroll. That's all I have to say. I'm just saying, the parents want to be heard. They're worried. Our program is in Madison, sharing that with you guys as well.
Again, you're sharing this with your parents. Your anger is being projected towards your parents.
My parents want to, I'm not angry with any of my parents, no.
No, they're not being-
And I shared with my parents because.
But they see it online too, because I see it online too, right?
And
again, I love you.
No, I love you.
We see eye to eye on stuff, but
they
again.
want to know why I'm leaving. This is why. I'm the stress of it all, and it all adds up. So you know what I mean? So that's all. I'm not here to argue. I've never come here to argue with you guys. But to be heard, this is what this is, and for honesty, that's all. That's all I ask. And everybody else deserves the honesty. And I mean, I don't want to have to go and post different things and the things that I've had to sign. But it's honest.
Yeah.
And you guys are agreeing with me,
And I
but
think
then
a
I
lot of
have one
stuff that
that
we do
isn't,
here,
so.
we're not just gonna run out and post it to everybody, put it on the website. 'cause
I
a lot
understand,
of
but
it's
my
personnel
problem is when
issues, so.
you guys right now are speaking the truth, but then I have him not speaking the truth.
Again,
And that's my
we've had
problem.
our conversations behind closed doors.
Jamie, you're
when we
making
go
all
and
sorts of
look at stuff.
accusations here
But-
about
I'm
me.
not.
You are, because
I'm not.
I'm a very honest person, and I have permission to talk to Maine PERS. So does
I
Sierra,
actually, when I
bookkeeper.
talked to her, nobody else could talk about my account, and she made that very clear. And she
I
let me
think
know,
you-
you
I
couldn't
think-
talk, she couldn't talk to you
I
about my
think you,
account.
I think you misunderstood her.
I don't
You have
think I
permission
did.
to talk to me.
That's why she had cleared it
Find
up for me, and that's why
Yeah.
then the
You
bill
made
turned back on
accusations
you.
about
Because
me
I
that
also
are
was getting my
false.
social security
They're all
taken out
false,
at the same
okay?
time,
I
correct?
never illegally
Right,
took
I was
money
gonna
out of your
double dip.
account.
Thank you.
Okay, but if you wanna talk about who actually paid that $260, it wasn't you, it was the
can
taxpayers.
okay, let's wind this down.
All right.
I think at the end of the day, I think the parents, I understand the parents, I'm gonna say, all those parents need to speak to you. I understand that, but at the end of the day, we're all adults. We all make choices. It's life. We make choices every day. You've made a choice. It's not me to beg and plead, and it's not him or it's not you. If you want to beg and plead, you gotta go to her.
I don't beg, sir.
You know, I'm just saying, you're, I don't know, I understand we're hearing what you say, but at the same time, it was nothing that we chose to do whatsoever
So
as the board, so.
2 quick clarifications, and then I'll be done because I would really like to go to bed. One, it was, I am not friends with Jamie on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I did not hear about any of this through that. The way I found out about this, and the reason I started that petition and came in here last week and this week and sat on your very uncomfortable chairs, is because the woman who cares for my son came up to me at 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm dropping my son off to go to work, crying, telling me that she wouldn't be able to take care of him anymore. Now, sure, there's issues, but the other thing that needs to be understood here, payroll issues aren't something you just, well, we're working on it. My paycheck's wrong, it gets fixed immediately because that's how I take care of my family. That is not something you can work on. That is not something you can, oh, we'll fix it eventually. And I don't care if it's 73 cents. It's her money, my money, your money. It is not something that somebody gets to, oops, we'll fix it eventually. That's how people take care of their families.
The payroll issue was worked and corrected within hours.
Yeah.
Because we had to get him, the treasurer, and the bank together to correct the issue.
I heard you guys say it's
And
a
it was
work
fixed,
in
so-
progress.
But we're talking about Maine PERS ongoing, right?
Well, no, even my checks, the different ones,
So-
that $25.
The
we
other
don't
thing
hear
too,
it.
like I talked to you,
Anyways,
is if you were unable to speak to the town manager, then we will take your comments. Because in my line of work outside of here, if we can't go to that next person, you obviously can go to the next person, probably in your line of job. So if she's not coming to us to talk about this issue because she believes the town manager is the issue, she has every right to come to us. And I've said this in meeting, so If the issues are still there and she feels she can't come to him about it, she can come to us about it. Because even in corporate world, if I worked for Family Dollar, right? If people had an issue with me as a store manager, they could bypass me through the chain of command and go to the district manager, right? That's just how it be. That's how I feel it should run here. Even though we have a town manager, and you will hear, we're not in charge of HR, we're not in charge of this, we are his boss.
You are where the buck
But
stops
if
for the
he
town.
is not doing the job he's supposed to be doing, through their eyes, but he is following state law because that's how he's supposed to do his job, right? Go to your state representative, you wanna get it changed. But she can bypass him and come to us. We had no idea that there was continuing problems with payroll. I did have an issue today and I went to him, but it wasn't my pay. But I saw a slight difference in it and he explained to me that it was changing. So, but there's a breakdown because there's a hatred.
That was actually a trio issue.
That was a trio issue.
Christie and I talked about that.
So,
I'm getting the personality issue, which is a separate thing. I just wanted to make sure that everyone
even
understood.
the director had a personality issue, right? He hasn't quit on you guys. He's still doing his job. And
Yes.
I love Jamie.
I understand that.
But I'm not gonna go beg for Jamie. If she wants to leave, she is a grown woman. She can make her decisions to
And
leave.
she did.
Right?
And
You are a parent with children here. You can make a decision to move your child from childcare. That is on you. Right?
Have you guys seen what daycare costs outside of the rec program?
I know. I've heard it. My brother has 3 kids.
About $350 a week.
Exactly. So
My son's got 2 little ones.
Yeah.
My daughter's gonna have 2 little ones, and she's a teacher, so I understand that. But at the end of the day, you know, I think
So now the town's not gonna have affordable.
I think Jamie went off a little premature. And
Her argument is valid, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying her argument isn't valid. I'm saying, you know, for somebody that really loves it, I really wish she could have waited or actually had some, this is, other than Madison coming to see us, we haven't heard from her. So if there was all these problems, it's still on her. Whether she don't like Matt, then okay. She still hasn't voiced to us.
She can come to me.
I mean, it's just, I know she's sitting here and she's upset with Matt. That's obviously it is what it is. But at the end of the day, she's an adult and she's gonna make choices. And there's nothing we can do about it. I'm not gonna beg, I'm not gonna ask, there's nothing I can do about it. She chose. Now, if it was something that, you know, we fired her or, you know, reprimanded her or something, that's one thing, but she's made a choice. And on that, it's Madison. She goes to the chain of command. Technically, she tells Madison, Madison comes tells us. When Madison came in, Madison explained point blank, she's given her resignation. She's done in 2 weeks. And then he's like, well, we're probably gonna be missing kids because the kids are gonna go and revenues are gonna go down, but it's gonna be a dip and a lull, but we'll work through it. Because not only is she upset and kind of putting a burden on you, okay? Because now you've got kids.
4-year-old.
No, what I'm saying is now she's quitting, she's running out on you, but you know, then Madison's, our rec director is also got a handful to pick up. So, I mean, there's a lot to it over somebody that's upset. And I understand she's upset and she's got little legitimate reasons, but to keep it short, I mean, she's an adult and she's made her choice. That's how I stand, and I'm not sounding, you know, I don't want it to sound ignorant, but that's her choice. If she chose to talk to Madison, wants to come back, and that's her choice. There's nothing that I can say differently about that.
I think it's a little interesting to say it's someone's choice when they're worried about feeding their family, but I'll leave it there.
Okay, yep.
As someone who has been doing payroll for 15 years in a private sector, it is.
What name?
Oh,
Pretty, ma'am.
Yeah.
Becky, Freedom Way.
Okay.
It's not easy. I have messed up before and literally hand wrote a check that didn't go into somebody's account that should have. But I also have 401k and everything else. And people's checks do change by a few dollars when it comes to 401k because it's a percentage. So it's a percentage of what you make and a percentage of, you know, what's put in there. So it does change. And I just wanted to tell people that because I've been doing it for a long time and payroll is not easy. And especially if somebody did it before you and wasn't doing it correctly, and I'm not defending anybody, it is what it is, but I did want to make that clear. It is not easy and it does, your checks can change.
Matt, I just have one last question for you because I have been looking for the posting of this job and I've yet to find it. Can you tell me where I can find it?
Yeah, it's in the meeting minutes from last week. If you go,
I'm looking for the post to apply for the job.
So
Like it is on the website and Indeed, it's yet to be listed. And
Madison-
she's done in 2 weeks, so we need someone to take care
Yeah.
of our children.
Madison said he put it on the rec department website?
I checked the town website because that's where I thought the town
think it's
openings, under, it says job openings, there's no rec positions listed there. So maybe,
Madison's posted it in some organization that deals just with.
Just for children care and childcare.
Rec programs.
Yeah. Madison's been.
and that's not something we'd be putting on the town website under our open jobs?
Well, you kind of want to deviate to a specific group.
Professional.
I mean, I wouldn't want, you know, the local.
I thought all town jobs were listed on the town
Well,
website.
I mean, we can post it out there. I think Madison's trying to gear towards the child care professionals.
Right,
You know, you
which
don't
is
want-
great,
You don't want
obviously,
somebody at the
yes.
variety store applying
Just
for
when jobs say
childcare.
they're all listed, they should all be listed there, just like
I
I
don't-
wouldn't go to a town webpage looking for a code enforcement job, I'd look Indeed.
Yeah,
It was
no, I'll,
posted there.
Yeah, we can
Thank
check
you.
with Madison to see, and maybe get it on the website just to.
He's the expert in this field, so.
I thought the town manager had something to do with that, sorry.
No, it's been mostly Madison, because that's his
Been all
department.
Madison.
Yeah, so.
Not to drag this out, and I know there's a petition, we don't know what it was asking for. Obviously, the
It
parents.
doesn't have what it's asking for, it just has signatures.
I gather the parents don't want Jamie to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know Jamie that well. I know that the program runs very well and Madison gets a lot of credit for that. Obviously, his staff make the department. But through all of this, we haven't heard what would change Jamie's mind. Does anybody know what that is, or is it too late and it's a lost fight anyway? I think all the errors have been corrected, and as frustrating as I know that can be, if they've been corrected, what else can be done that would change your mind? Do we know?
Payroll company, she had said, because I know as last pay period, there were still issues.
Anybody else? Nothing else? Anybody? Then I will wait.
Want to do notifications?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, we can. Select board office hours are Thursday from 3 to 8. On-air meeting time is Thursday at 7. Transfer station hours are Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4, and Wednesday noon to 4. Transfer station sticker must be attached to your vehicle windshield for the disposal of all items. Transfer station stickers are available at the town office for $20. No sticker is required to use a swap shop. The transfer station does not accept brush, yard clippings, or hazardous waste. Riverside Recycling in Portland does take hazardous waste. A friendly reminder to all residents that building waste, furniture, and mattresses should not be left at the curbside. We have a transfer station for those items. General assistance applications are available at the town office during normal business hours. Applications must be filled out and accompanied with supporting documentation and must be signed and returned to the GA administrator or clerk. The planning board meets at the municipal complex the first and third Monday evenings of the month at 7 p.m. That is it for the notification list.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second it.
All in favor? We are adjourned at 9:09.